As captain of his Fisk University team, Ben Jobe's quickness and leadership became evident to all observers.
Jobe always carried himself in a way that there was no doubt that he knew what he wanted to do. And he was always neat, clean, proud, even to the point that he had us believing that we were that way too. He could shoot, pass, a student of the game. He was a little weasel, but he'd fight in a minute.
He was a feisty fellow, even when he was a little young guy. I knew him when he was in the 9th grade. Nothing was ever good enough. He just had to practice and practice and practice, and he would ask you 1,001 questions.
But you would never have known that he was from an impoverished background. You would never know that the relative that he stayed with was known as a junk man in the community, a Fred Sanford of the world.
Jobe, son of a Tennessee sharecropper, became the first of his 15 siblings to attend college.
My father never went to school a day in his life. He never learned to read. He never learned to write. He did not see the significance of education. They never set foot on Fisk University campus. They really didn't even know where it was. They just knew it was on the other side of town. So it had no value to them at all. My parents were workaholics. That was what they thought their children should do, should work. If someone would say to my parents, say, well, Ben's playing ball. Playing, so what? But if they say, well, Ben is working down at the Coca-Cola plant, now working, now they might want to come see that.
In 1959, Jobe became the coach at Cameron High School in Nashville.
He was the most intense coach you ever wanted to see.
I didn't know how to lose. And we lost in the state finals, and I said, that's it. I couldn't take it.
He tried selling insurance.
The president of the insurance company called me in, and he said, your mom and dad have insurance? I said, no, sir. He said, anyone in your family ever had insurance? I said, no, sir. He said, do you have insurance? I said, no, sir. He said, you don't really believe in insurance? I said, no, sir. He said, let me tell you something, son. He said, you cannot sell something that you don't believe in.
He joined a World Peace Organization and went to Africa, where he coached everything from cricket to basketball. When he returned to the U.S. in the autumn of 1963, he entered a PhD program at the University of Tennessee.
20-some thousand kids. There were only 6 blacks in the whole school, only 6 of us. I was in class one day, and I'll never forget that. Had a great professor, Dr. Orrin B. Graff, was in class one day. Someone walked in and whispered something in his ear. And he dismissed the class. And we didn't know what was going on. Before we could get to the parking lot, there were horns blowing. Kids were blowing their horns, and rebel flags were flowing. The South would rise again. But they were celebrating. And man, it hurt. I mean, you talking about... I didn't open my mouth. I just turned right around and I walked into my room. I locked the door. And I stayed in there for about 4 days. I didn't come out. I was there for the end of that semester. And then I left.
In the name of the greatest people that have ever trod this earth, I draw the line in the dust and toss the gauntlet before the feet of tyranny And I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.